Well, hello everyone. I want to welcome y'all to Living Positive San Antonio, May 18th. I'm sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I just did my exercise. Tonight we're going to be talking about family, and that's blood family versus chosen family. Tonight we have Sylvia, Wayne, and Jared. Guys, the floor is all yours. Come here.
Well, I guess they're expecting me to start because I have a big mouth, but I'm going to defer to either one. I'm going to defer to either one of them and let them start first.
Well, I was going to start off with chosen family.
Okay.
That's when I wanted to start talking
My
about.
sweet baby. Do you choose or do you have?
I currently have a chosen family,
I do too.
and my chosen family is Living Positive, and I've chosen to be part of this family.
Better be.
Oh, no, you didn't. For better, for worse, you know. And they
My,
live for it.
my background comes from, I was raised, most people that know me closely, very strict religion, and I have had a choice family probably the last 10 years that's been a healthy relationship that's growing. Before that, isolated from family since the age of about 17 to 18, and clean and sober on the 15th, which was what, Friday, I think? 6 years. So Saturday. So very happy. Yes, thank you. I didn't know that the day of that you go back through a hell of memories and stuff, which I did happen. But the last 5 years, I have had a wonderful chosen family, and yes, Living Positive again is a huge part of my life. My heart belongs with this group of guys and ladies.
Well, I'm very fortunate that I can't say I've had any super big issues with my family in terms of how we've gotten along and stuff. Where I do know the problems were with me and my family was my coming out to them. People always ask me, did your mom or your dad have a hard time with you when you came out? I never actually came out. I was outed by a girlfriend I wanted to break up with. She thought it was best if she came and told my parents that what was going on between us, and this way if she threatened me I wouldn't leave her. Well, I called her bluff basically, and she came and outed me. And so anyway, things were a little strained from that point on with my parents and stuff. A lot of the rest of my family said, well, why didn't you tell us that you were going through that and things? And I said, because if I'd been able to tell you, I would have, but I didn't feel like I could. They said, well, we would have helped facilitate that with mom and dad. I said, no, I don't think you could have. It wasn't till the end when my mom was dying with cancer that I think she fully realized who and what I was and said, okay. But so a lot of that time, my time was split in two worlds. My family world, where I didn't bring too many of my gay friends around, and my gay family who said, you are who you are unconditionally. And, for a long time I dated boys and girls. I wasn't gonna choose. I enjoyed the variety. But I also knew who I really was down inside, and I ended up finally making a decision, one way or the other, 30 something years ago. Because it's kind of hard when you have a boyfriend and you're looking at girls at the same time. So
I never had that issue whatsoever. I might have been looking at your boyfriend, but I had no issues with girls.
But so I've had both, I guess, a little bit of both. So I am very fortunate to not necessarily have chosen a family because my other family didn't want me or anything. They just didn't agree very well with what I had chosen. But so I do have a chosen family who I choose to be around and spend time with and laugh with and stuff. And just like the guy said, Living Positive is one of my my families. I do have a couple of other friends from here, from church and things like that, that are very, very important to me. I did talk to somebody today, a lady whose paperwork I was doing, and for me, when it comes to chosen family and blood family, I kind of want to say this and emphasize this, and they may feel differently, and if they do, I'd really or if somebody else out there feels differently about it. So I was talking to a lady today doing her paperwork, and I guess I have the kind of ears that listen or something, because she really poured it out on me. That was a 32-minute phone call that should have taken me like 5. And what she told me was that her family doesn't understand her living with HIV, number one. Her mother said that she was nothing but trash and stuff, and she says, because my mother is so toxic, I choose not to hang around her. And she says, and the same thing goes with for my sisters. And I said, and that's okay, sweetie. And I said, I do not come from the school where you know, blood is, I hear this all the time, your family is everything. You wouldn't drink poison, or you wouldn't eat arsenic because it's damaging to you, right? So why would you want to be around family that has the same effects on you but in different ways? So I said, no, sweetie. She says, my kids don't understand why they don't see their grandma or their aunts or whatever. And I said, because they're not supposed to, they're kids. You just said that. I said, but one day when they grow older, they'll understand, and they'll see how bad it was, and you were trying to protect them from that. And so she said, you're the only one so far that has said that I'm doing the right thing by not talking to my family. And I said, I support you 100%. I mean, I don't even hardly know her. But I said, I support that decision 100%, because when someone is toxic in your life, you need to remove them. And no, family is not everything.
Yeah.
They're related to you by blood, and if I needed a transfusion, maybe I'd call them first, or a liver or a kidney, but maybe. But they are not everything when they're not good for your mental health. Mark.
Quick question. I guess to the guys, you probably answered it already. On you two guys, including you two, Sylvia,
Okay.
Do you prefer your chosen family from your real family?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I have had, so I went for 22 years with no interaction with family, had about a year and a half where we tried to work something out, and it's been another, about 9 and a half, almost 10 years since contact again. No. I think what happens with people, a lot like the client that you were working with, I think with people growing up in that situation of such a toxic family, they don't realize that even if they don't have contact with that family, a lot of the PTSD and issues like that come out of that is for the fact that you're constantly still in your mind, even though you've made that disconnect, in your mind you're constantly questioning, why was I wrong? Where did I go wrong? And what can I do to fix it? With me being in counseling, I found, I was doing something, and the counselor was saying, oh, what are you looking at? And I said, I was going to ask her about this. I said, is it weird that even after so many years, it's Christmas time, and I was looking at the James Avery catalog, and I told her, I said, is this weird that I still pick out everything that I think my mother would like from me? Earrings, necklace, and ring, and stuff like that. And I think it's normal, and for people in my situation to still think like that. And I think that a lot of younger people don't realize that it's something you have to kind of grow into. But I think once you're able to say also that a family is toxic, then you're able to realize that you're better off without them. Once you make that clean cut, you really are able to find some true good friends and stuff like that. It's so much better. I feel like a lot of times, with addiction and things like this, I lost so much of my life, and then I'd have times where I'm like, I'm so happy. I actually have friends that I can say friends, you know what I mean? That it's not involving drinking or doing drugs or something like that, actually get out and do stuff together and have fun.
As far as me, when I was living with my parents a year ago, the adolescent abuse and child abuse that I went through started surfacing when my father started yelling at me while we were having lunch and dinner. He thought I was saying something incorrectly or improperly to my mom. And the whole thing is he wasn't able to hear correctly. And when I told him, Dad, I think you need to get your ears checked because you're not hearing words correctly, you're not hearing tones correctly. He turns to my mom and says, "Me dice que estoy sordo." I'm going deaf, which didn't come out of my mouth. And and the yelling and screaming made me scream and yell back at him, and rage came out of me, which the rage that I saw when he was actually beating me. And my sisters never saw it. They never heard it. They never got hit, beat, touched, nor my brother. So when they told me they didn't believe me, and if it did happen, I need to get over it, that really made me mad. And then they throw me out like trash. Like, they just moved me into an apartment. They paid for it 6 months. I'm very grateful for that. But they just left me there, knowing that I could not move any furniture because of my back injuries, which I'm still going through.
You say your father was abusive. Was he abusive now? Like
No.
A year ago?
Yes, he was yelling and screaming at me. He was yelling at me, hearing me.
How old your father is?
My dad is now 86.
Do you think it's because of his age that he's not?
Oh, yes, definitely. It was because of his age, because he wasn't hearing correctly. He went through an issue that I had myself, where I was going to the AIDS Foundation, which I've gone through for many years. I know how to get to it. I was there with Papa Bear before he even purchased it with the AIDS Foundation. We still had the foundation at his bar and Casa de Care right next to the bar, in the apartments that he purchased. And so I know, I've been there, I can get there blindfolded. And one day I was going for an appointment. I crossed Broadway on Josephine, and as soon as I crossed, I completely forgot where I was going, what I was doing. I didn't know where I was. And that was very, very scary for me. I had to pull, I started crying. I cried for about 10 minutes until my phone went off, and it was a reminder of my appointment. I was 2 blocks away from the foundation. And of course, I talked to my doc about it and had MRIs done, and more MRIs and x-rays. But, and I was telling my dad happened the same thing. He got confused, disoriented. And I said, "Dad, the same thing happened to me. I think maybe you should see a neurologist to see what's going on." And he turns to my mom and says, "Me dice que estoy yendo loco." He's going crazy, which the words didn't come out of my mouth. I was need to check. And I understand he's old, but I also went through a lot of trauma myself from his abuse. And my sisters and brother didn't suffer from that abuse at all. I took it all. And I'm glad, I'm happy that I took it all and they didn't get abused whatsoever. But what hurt me more than anything is they didn't believe that I was abused. Even though my mom told them, yeah, I stood between him and my dad so that he wouldn't get hit. But my mom, she says she's 5 foot tall. I'm at 5'8", well now I'm 5'6" because of my surgeries. And my dad's 5'10", so he was able to hit me with no problem, and my mom wasn't able to block anything, but she was still there. And they didn't believe her. And they said, well, if it did happen so long ago, we need to get over it. They didn't want to learn what trauma was or is. And it's trauma, like I said, it's like telling a woman who's been raped to get over it. You don't tell a woman who's been raped to get over it. You don't tell a man who's seen his wife and family killed in a car accident to get over it. It's trauma. Trauma's trauma. And I learned what trauma was because I was going through it myself, but they didn't even want to have the time to learn what trauma was. And that hurt me. And right now, my relationship with my sisters, they did not come and get me for Thanksgiving dinner. I was by myself at home, Thanksgiving dinner. I had an emergency. I had a belly button umbilical cord hernia sticking out like an alien that far out. Had to find somebody who I just met who took me to the emergency room, dropped me off, picked me up. Christmas, they did not want to pick me up either. I spent Christmas by myself. That was hurtful. That hurt me a lot. My brother, he's used to adore me. Now he's a little standoffish. But he hasn't told my mom and dad that he's gay, and he's had a partner for 5 years in the house that they helped pay for. But he won't tell them that he's gay, which...
You're looking at me because you know my big mouth and already.
So then,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at that
consider
joke.
us your family?
Y'all are my family.
We love your family.
Yes. For example, when I had to go for my last operation, y'all were the ones that took me and picked me up from the hospital. That was the loneliest and most scariest thing I ever had to experience, is going in, preparing when they were injecting or putting IVs in me and telling me the usual, this is only a muscle, it's only a relaxer, it's just gonna relax you before we, I was like, seconds after that, I'm used to that, well, yeah, right, this is no relaxer, you're putting me out. But it was scary because there was nobody there with me before I went into the hospital, before I went to my surgery. And when I woke up, there was nobody there either. And that was the most loneliest time of my life that I've ever felt, that there was nobody there for me. And I understand it was COVID going on, but my family took me, thank you, Mark, and my family picked me up. And Santiago, you up, is that correct?
Yes, I picked you up.
He's getting old, Mark.
And that's
Who
my,
else was gonna pick you up?
exactly, my family, my chosen
And
family.
you know, the thing is, we're always gonna be, you know, it's funny because my partner had brought up a word.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's
I want to be one of the bridesmaids.
My partner had brought up, you know how we did Christmas.
What
last
is
year
this?
together?
Hold on, what's the name?
So my
What's
partner
the name?
brought up a word, misfits. Hey, how about doing a misfits Christmas? And I thought about it, like, was it really a misfits Christmas what we had last year,
No.
or was it that we were just?
Oh, that was
It was a
Christmas.
family. That was
No.
a family.
I understand the word, but I'm like, at the end of the day, we are a family. And we have to be together. We look out for each other. Even though Jerry's annoying as fuck half the time, or high, or used to be high. I'm not saying he's not high anymore for what reason, but
I'm not high anymore.
He's high on life.
I'm very blessed
he's
with
very
the outcome.
I'm very happy.
And what hurt me though is when I was relapsing last year for that period of months, quite a few months. It hurt me that none of y'all all knew, but nobody reached out to say.
No, bullshit.
Oh.
I don't remember, but remember I was high.
I forget, I called you out twice and you got mad at me.
And I was there with you.
But you
I
called me
called
up,
you
but you didn't. You weren't more family and forceful about it.
We are all adults. We all know what we're doing. We can be there to
Sometimes
a
y'all have
certain
to
extent.
provide, family has to let you make fall.
Yep.
Yeah.
To the point where
And I
you
did
know
fall.
you're falling.
Because
And I
you were
did
the
fall.
only one that was going through something last year, remember? The other person, we don't name anymore,
Was having
going through
issues.
something, talk about that later.
Okay.
Somebody else had fallen after we tried to help them.
Oh, her.
Her. And she chose not to listen to us. She came up with every motherfucking excuse that she wanted to.
That's true.
You know? So, we didn't want to see you fall, but at the same time, you have to fall so you can wake up. It's a wake-up call. But we're still there, gonna be there. You know, we still go pick you up.
And
you
would
know.
you have listened? Would you have listened?
No, not at that point,
And you
no.
have to realize that. yeah.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So, you know, you pick and choose your battles as depending on the stamina and strength, you have to fight that battle. And if you don't have the stamina or the strength, then sometimes you go, well, I hope this one has it because I sure don't and I can't fight it anymore, you know?
You might want to call it tough love, whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
but we're there for you.
I understand.
You know, again, you know, the topic is about, you know, who your chosen family. You know, y'all are my family. Are y'all above my real family? No. You know, my sister's always gonna be my sister. My little nephew, y'all know that's my heart right there. My nephews, I mean, they're in my life. Are y'all equal? Yes, y'all equal. You know, my chosen family and my family, y'all about the same. I can go, if I need to talk to Mark for something, or talk to Sylvia, or talk to Wayne, yo, it's there. Now I got my partner, so I can talk to him about certain things. Y'all shut the fuck up.
What is his name?
What's your partner's name?
Name. We all said our names on the
Well,
camera.
also, 'cause
It's
last
your
time I got in
turn.
trouble because I mentioned his name.
Hey, person, is it okay if we mention your name?
So yeah,
We-
Jeremy's the one I'm, if I start having problems, I can turn to, but he's been there for me too, a lot lately.
And you know what? And your partner's supposed to be the first person you go to.
Exactly.
Okay, to me, that's the way I feel. If I have an issue, I'm going through something, I reach out to Gilbert. and I'll talk to Gilbert. And I'll say it, and I said it before in front of Gilbert. If I don't feel satisfied with the results in a sense, not financially or anything, just emotional support, I will reach out to someone else.
But, and I understand that, but y'all been together for a good while. We just started this relationship.
And you know what?
If anything's out there for me, I'm available.
You know, it's really good that you actually have someone.
That's what I told
good
them.
for you mentally, in a sense, well, physically, well, that's another subject. But mentally, it's really good. Honey, I gained weight too, don't worry about it. But
Oh.
the thing is,
Wow.
but no,
Truth hurts.
the thing is, it's good to have someone.
It is.
Yes, it's very good.
Yeah, I never regret it. And since the first time I talked to him, I fell in love with him. He's
Oh my God, me
I
too.
do too. He was awesome.
And
And he's love the other done too.
And I'm glad that he's in your life because
Me
him
too.
being in your life, he actually is in our life.
Right.
Part of
And-
family.
We think so. He loves the other too. I'm not again answer for him, but from
We
what
don't
we're
have
talking
any
about.
daughter-in-law.
Yes.
You like the red stepchild of your own.
Sure.
But
And his sister.
like you were saying about family, all y'all, we all choose our family of who we want, I chose to leave people because they were toxic in my family, and that's what we all pretty
You
much
have
done.
to, yeah.
You have to.
You've done that too, John.
Take
And
a,
you do.
can we jump in and take this question that's been waiting?
Yes.
I'm debating whether or not I should.
Oh,
No.
no. I purposely broke it off for you. Ask the question.
So, the point that you're trying to get at is where we are. So, the question was, the chosen family that you have chosen is, okay, when you are feeling abandoned, because whatever family that you have had has either disappointed you, abandoned you, or have let you down enough to where you knew that you couldn't count on them, you had a backup. Or had such confidence in someone that you knew that when you were at your lowest low,
You know,
and when you fell down, that they would be there to keep you up.
I would not call it a back plan.
Not a backup.
No, I don't think he meant it that way either.
Oh, okay, go on.
So,
But
but
you
no. But you're thinking just okay. Forget that word. Forget that word. But this one right here.
I missed the reading in the shade.
In case, you already have that relationship built up. You already have that history built up. And something really bad had happened, or even so much as health issues happened. And you have no one else to call. Not even a phone to pick up. To call for help.
There's always something there, but the thing is, your
Not even
family's
a phone.
always going to change.
He's saying he
Your
didn't.
group's always going to change.
No, he's saying he didn't physically have a phone though.
Not even a phone to call or help to be able to get a phone.
I think that's when your chosen family steps in though.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they will,
The chosen family.
they will come and if they know you don't have phones, they will come and check on you sometimes.
Right.
The
But,
chosen
but
family.
you also have to ask for the help.
Yeah.
The chosen family, yeah.
Because when you ask for the help, if you would come to the group and say, you know what?
But
Hold on.
now, okay. No. So that's why
No,
I
want to understand where he's coming from.
Okay.
I do.
It was being said to the chosen family. Chosen family is already selected. Chosen family is already there. Chosen family has already been chosen over and above all because the chosen family's been there from day
But
one.
the chosen family choose you. That's what the biggest thing is. We all chose each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so we built from there. So Mark used to text me. But now he texts my boyfriend. It's like, okay. He texts me because it takes me forever. But like, if Jerry needed something, hey, I have no problem, yo, I'm gonna go pick you up, or I would ask one of y'all, tell y'all, go pick him up. But we all try to help each other. We all try to like, hey, you got this week, you got second week, or whatever.
Sylvia brought me
Wayne
food.
didn't. When Wayne didn't have a car, I had no problem. He lives past my house. my boy, I'm going to go pick him up. You know, so we all help each other one way or another. You know, like Leo and Young Nuts right here. They help each other. You know, they're like almost roommates pretty much, almost live in the same place. So, but again, sometimes you have to ask for that help. We don't know when you're going through something unless you're really, really close. Like I can tell when he's going through something. He's got that fucking look. I can tell when he's upset, or even him. But we know because we've been around each other. Like, okay, what's going on? What's up? Because you had that.
But I think he's trying to tell us that.
There was an elaboration and a clear outspoken word like, I really need this help. And it was clearly said because there was 150 eyes that were clearly there, and 150 ears that had clearly heard it, and no one did anything about it.
I really don't know what situation it is you're talking about, but
it's just,
I would.
it's just.
You need to explain something and tell us what's going on.
Yeah, don't be frank.
Guess what you're going through.
Be frank. No. Be frank and just say it. I mean, I'm not going to be offended. I'm not going to be offended if you say something. Look, I told you about.
We have someone who is very well known
In our group?
in the group, yeah.
Okay.
Who has a very firm and very well known reputation in this group,
Okay.
and doesn't have a spit to do with me.
Okay.
And
I don't know who that is.
may have stepped out of the spotlight for a minute there. But I mean, forgive me for even saying this.
No, this is your forum to say it. That's
Yeah,
it.
this
I'm
is a
not
support
judging you.
group.
I'm not.
Yes.
I want to hear it.
And yeah, so therefore, yeah, so I mean, yeah, I mean, what to say. So I see it as though this is a family, right?
Right.
And family, when someone is saying, oh yeah, I need a phone because I've been falling over. I just had surgeries and I don't even have a phone. I have no lifeline to call anybody. I had back surgery and I can't even call anybody. I don't have a phone.
He didn't have a phone either.
Who the hell do you think I'm talking about?
Oh.
Me?
Yeah.
I didn't have it. You're right. I didn't have a phone.
You had us all confused. Who was confused?
Okay,
Who was confused?
I was.
what surgery did I have
I don't know.
at all recently? I'm not talking
But no,
about.
you talked for 15 minutes before you said surgery,
Yeah.
so we didn't know what was going on.
So, someone who has considered all of you guys in this room to be their chosen family has said, I need a phone. My phone is locked out. I can't make calls. I just had back surgery. I have no income coming in. I need help. Can someone please help me? Yeah, I'm getting an occasional ride to and from home, but how the hell can I call anybody? I can't even call my doctor. If I fall over and I die on the freaking floor, how the hell am I going to call 911?
I understand this is not a conversation for this right now, but what I will say is me and Wayne
We
did
were
help.
all in contact with
They-
him.
If you guys
put
would
contact.
know that you're talking for him, let him talk, because he's the one that should have told us, not you.
He didn't have to say anything. This is an outside object looking in.
Okay.
But he's entitled to say. I mean, I want to hear.
This was
Yeah.
on time. Because right now, what we are talking
Well, we're
about
talking
is family.
Yes, this is a family thing, right?
Right.
And we have issues.
But understand, sometimes
But
families
this is
get
close.
mad at each other, which nobody's mad at.
No.
Nobody's mad here.
No one's mad. I'm not saying anything's mad, and I'm not saying anything more.
Okay.
But there are resources that every one of us know about,
Okay.
because every one of us are clicked into something.
Right. So did you get him a phone?
Yeah,
You got him a phone?
yeah.
I thought you said you called somebody else.
He signed me up with the
You didn't tell us
Obamacare, with the Obama phone.
But you didn't tell
So
us.
that was basically the same phone that we all offered you.
Right. But we told you.
Yeah, but
Because I offered the same thing to you.
Okay, now
I,
did you guys-
honestly, I was going through so much pain at the time. I don't
that's
remember
most
that.
cool.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, do you have a phone now?
I have a phone
That's what
now.
matters. And y'all have had 2 lines, right? And you said you let phone go?
No,
Because you
I
had one
only
from the
have
hospital.
Okay. So again, going back to the original topic, which is family.
Chosen family.
And were they helping me? They helped me. My family
Yeah.
did. my chosen family did, my blood family did,
You know.
and that hurt even more.
So, but we do appreciate that you got on the phone. That was very nice of you.
But
If that's what you're looking for,
I don't
thank
want,
you.
I don't want it.
Okay. So again, let's change. Let's go back to the original subject.
The family that was chosen, okay,
We
he
did
said,
offer.
Yeah.
He's the one who did not go
he
through.
said, he said he was alone on holiday. He
He
said,
was invited,
Okay.
and we didn't even ask him to join us. He chose not to. It was his decision, not ours.
Okay.
And that was also going to
Every
do.
time I have something going on in my house for the board, he's always welcome. He's always been invited.
And I was
But
going
if
to
he
be
chose
present.
not to come because he wanted to do something else that he was not supposed to, that's on him.
okay.
I am not about to go knock at the door and tell him, you know what, we're going to do it, let's go.
All right.
He's a grown ass man that he can do anything he wants to do. We're there to support him. We're not there to hold his hand 24/7 because we all have lives. We all have issues.
And I was going through a very deep depression myself. And so,
I know.
Nobody
Um,
knows.
But no, but we're not understanding.
Hold on one second.
But
Nobody
see,
knew.
when someone is doing their wrongs, and when someone's going through their own issues, people tend to shy away, right?
No, we did not
No.
shy away.
I'm
No.
not getting that. So again, we need to drop that because this conversation is about something else. Now this is acting more like a original family fighting over some stupid shit that should not be in public. Now that you're
and we can
mad-
discuss this in private. I'm
Yeah, that's something we could talk afterwards. Again, let's go back to the original conversation.
Well, we sound like just a blood family, didn't we?
This sounds
Sounds real family to me.
Sound like family to me.
But we all,
Sometimes chosen families like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
And that's okay. 'Cause
but it's okay. It's okay to be called out on things because, because maybe Ben's expectations of what chosen family are different than what my chosen family expectations are. So here he is just defending a friend, and I can get that. I haven't raised my voice at Ben. Y'all might be getting a little hot because you feel like he's pointing fingers going, y'all weren't there. Let him, it's okay for Ben to say, because Ben has.
Well, then it's okay for us to say what we're gonna say.
Yes, but y'all are getting hot about it and he's not.
That was my
All right, let's change the subject to the original subject.
Okay,
I need a husband. That's the original subject,
Wiggles.
right? I
Wiggles.
need a husband. I'm
Wiggles.
available. I'm healthy. I have a brand
So-
new bed.
so, back to the PTSD part of families. We were asking them about who was important, like their chosen family or their chosen family or their what is it? Chosen family
or real family, blood family.
yeah, or real family.
I have a quick question for you.
Oh, okay.
Sylvia. We know they had issues with their family. Did you have issues with yours?
Well, I was gonna talk about one in a sec. I was kind of gonna lead up to that. We have gotten to the point where my family now, my blood family, I could put them together with you guys and they'd probably have a blast. Well, I know my niece would. She'd love every single one of you. My sister, as she gets older, she's beginning to accept the whole, well, it's been like that for a while where she's cool with the gay thing and all this other stuff. So my sister would probably have a blast with you guys. A blast with you guys. She'd have such a good time. So now I can blend the two families together. Did we always get along? Like I said, they offered to, all my family chose to tell me after my girlfriend outed me, well, why didn't you come to us? Because you didn't make me feel like I could go to y'all. And so I didn't go to them about the issues I was having with my girlfriend threatening me and all this other stuff. When Jerry was talking about PTSD, with his dad yelling at him, some people might say, oh my God, Jerry, that was so long ago. Well, it was, you're right. but it doesn't ever really leave you. And I'm gonna share something with y'all that I don't share all the time. I've shared it with some of my friends, my other chosen family friends. But many moons ago, when I was probably 6 or 7, and that was many moons ago, my parents didn't let me have a pet. Okay, they did not let me have a pet. And I wanted to get one desperately. So I get a cat, and I name him Napoleon. And I just love on this cat. I love him. And he's the best thing ever at 6 or 7. And so one day, when my parents are going to work, they're going to drop me off at my grandmother's. And because my parents both work, so I was going to stay with my grandmother. My parents are going to drop me off at my grandmother's, and we drive out of the driveway, and there's Napoleon, and he's dead. Now, to a 6 or 7-year-old who was never allowed to have a pet, who just loved this cat undyingly, to see that was very traumatic for me, okay, very traumatic. And so I'm crying and crying and crying all the way to my grandmother's house, because my dad still has to go to work. He can't leave work because I'm crying over the cat. And so I go into my grandmother's house and I'm crying, and I go and lay down in her bed and I'm still crying. And she says, "What's wrong?" And I told her the story about my cat, finding my dead cat. And in the middle of my sob, she says, "That's enough already," in Spanish. She says, "That's enough already. It's just a cat. Stop crying." And just like that, I shut it off. I shut it off for years, until my 30s, late 30s maybe. And I still shut it off to this day. I still will shut it off. Not as much as I used to, and not all the time, but when she said, "Cut it, stop it right there," I did. For pretty much the rest of my life, I stopped it. And so I went to counseling in my late 30s, probably early 40s, I don't remember. And I talked to the counselor, and I told her, I can't, like, I'd go with all my gay guy friends to see movies that were really sad, like we would stay home Saturdays and watch movies like Imitation of Life, which is a really sad movie.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah, well, I wouldn't cry. I mean, it's just an actress. She's gonna wake up. She's getting paid for her part. She's gonna wake up. Steel Magnolias, all the guys are crying that I went with. And I was like, because Shelby died. It's like, oh my God, Julia Roberts is gonna get up and walk off with a $10 million check. Who gives a damn? You know, that was my attitude. I couldn't see it. I didn't understand it.
Who are you?
That's what and I said, I'm not gonna entirely blame my grandmother for that, because I could have controlled it. But when you talk about PTSD like Jerry did, that PTSD is real, and it stays there for a good long time. And so we do that to ourselves. We have a tendency to do that to ourselves. And like, hold on, Michelle, I see her. Like the lady today that I told y'all I was talking to, when she talks about not seeing her blood family, she says, "It is sad for me at Christmas. It is sad for me at New Year's." And she says, "But I've got to do what's good for me." And I said, "Absolutely, hon, because if you can't do what's good for you, you can't do good by anybody else, including your family, if you ever want to get back to them." So I'm fortunate where I could mix up my families, my chosen and my blood. I'm very fortunate that way. And I can't say, other than that little incident, I'm sure there were other little toxic incidences. You know, and I love my grandmother, don't get me wrong, I love my grandmother. She was my dad's mom. And see, I don't know, my dad was not like her. But she was my dad's mom. And you know, for her, I was either too fat, too skinny, too much makeup, too little makeup, my hair was too long, my hair was too short. You know, and so then as I grew older, I began to see it as her problems, not mine. You know, it took some work, you know, and I thought, who told you some things like that you feel like you gotta shove that down my throat? And you know what, I'm not angry at you anymore. I feel sorry for you, because I wonder what it was like for you. You know, what must your childhood have been like, and who criticized you that you felt you had to come back at me? Now, she didn't do that to my sister. my sister could not shit wrong. And that's okay, because the other one thought I couldn't shit wrong. So that's okay. We're even. But the point is that, you know, I try very hard to watch some of the things I say to people, or not to dismiss those feelings of, like, you know, you want to cry all you want. You want to say this, say it. You know, don't hold that in, because for many years I wondered what that pressure, that chest pressure was. It's all that sadness, and it's all this other stuff that, you know, you're holding in there because, you know, I was told a long time ago to be quiet. So, Michelle, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to keep you waiting.
No, I'm just remember it all. I'm just kidding.
Thanks.
So, this, not necessarily with the family structure, but with the traumatic stuff, nobody can tell somebody what should bother them, what shouldn't bother them, and for how long it should bother them.
Amen.
The same thing, I mean, both my parents died within a year and a half, or less than a year and a half of each other. Of course, it still bothers me every day.
Sure.
But I could have someone sitting next to me, they might cry, and their parents were gone longer.
Right.
I will tell you right now, my dog was tragically killed 2 years ago. I cried more when my dog died than when my dad died, and I almost felt guilty. And there was nothing wrong with my dad. My dad was a great dad. But I'm like, well, why did I cry when my dad died? Is it because I expected it to happen?
Sure.
So I cried forever for my dog. I still can cry about my dog.
Mhm.
And then the same thing is, you were talking about the cat, right? And
Mhm.
turning it off. So I worked for Child Protective Services for many years. And doing that job, you have to learn to shut it off. And sometimes you don't laugh at the children, but you laugh at certain situations and people think you're crazy because you just had to.
Right.
Otherwise you'd go crazy. So I can tell you now, I mean, Mr. Willows could walk across the room there and hurt his paw and cry, and I'll start crying. But yet there's that, what was that case on Netflix that,
Oh, Gabriel Fernandez.
Gabriel Fernandez, my friends are bawling and they're like, how are you not crying? I'm like, it was very sad, but I so learned to turn it off that when I see that, I don't cry.
Right.
But yet I'll cry if somebody tells me their dog hurt their paw.
Right.
I'll cry for that. So everybody has their triggers and stuff that's gonna happen, and who am I to tell them what's wrong for them or right for them? Because
Absolutely.
everybody is different, and nobody should tell you that. I mean, as far as family and chosen family, I got my chosen family too. I love my biological family. Right now, it's really just my brothers. In fact, in 2 days, I'm going to see my niece graduate high school. She already graduated with her arts degree, and so I'm super proud in her associate's degree in college, but she's graduating high school.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm super excited about that. It's all over my Facebook page. But yet, with my friends and my chosen family, someone was talking, I think it's been kind of mentioned before, like what friends, if you can count on whoever. I have a big group of friends, right? And I'm glad for all of my friends. My roommate, you know, he has like no emotions sometimes. So I know if I'm going through a bad day, I'm probably not going to call him and tell her, go to the other room and be like, I'm really sad about this.
Yeah.
He'd look at me like, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's not that he's being mean to me, that's just the way
That's
he
just the way
is.
he's built.
But I have other friends, okay, if I really need this emotional support, I'm gonna call this person.
Right.
And if I really need this, if I need to go shopping, I'm calling John, because he's going with me and we're getting into trouble.
Nah.
We get into trouble all the time. And so everybody has, even within that family, even your chosen family, you have certain people of that family that you will call for certain things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Leo, did you have something, or did you have a question?
Thanks for already still acknowledging.
Oh, sorry. Oh. Sorry, Leo.
But every
I
family
think-
is gonna argue as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we just saw that right now. So, like 30 minutes more than it was supposed to last.
Yeah.
But we're all gonna argue. We're not always gonna get along. Just like if it was a real blood family, you're gonna argue. You're gonna get into a discussion about something and whatever.
Disagreements always happen.
And I think we tend to actually blow up, and then we kind of search each other out and say, hey, you know what, I did something a while back, and I had to text someone and say, hey, I just told you two to get out, and I didn't mean to sound like that. And it was, hey, okay.
I don't want to say I had too many cliques, but when I was in Japan, I had my family.
Mm-hmm.
We were all overseas. It was our first sport. So, and John knows, you know, being overseas with a whole bunch of people you don't know, you start picking whoever you were. And that's pretty much what I did.
Mm-hmm. I
I pretty much handpicked. They're all cute too. But I picked all my friends, and we became a family. I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of my friends, but we had like at least 42 Latinos from every country as a group, and we celebrated together. We celebrated birthdays. We used to waste like crazy. Like
I can believe
we would do beer baths.
Oh.
Now you try to think about wasting
A good 12
6-pack of Corona. Dude, this is my beer.
Yep.
But back then we wasted like a case just on people on their birthday, on their head. You know. So where I'm getting at, whoever you're with, whoever you feel comfortable, that's your family. You know, that's what I chose them. I chose them when we were in Japan. When I came here and then I found out I was HIV positive, I met Mark, then I met Wayne, and then I started meeting y'all a little bit, and I met you, and we all met. You know, I met you at what we call it as well. So we became a family. You know, I have family everywhere. I mean, you saw when I went to Pennsylvania, my people's over there. Boom. We were like we hadn't seen each other, like yesterday.
Yeah.
So you want that kind of family that you can just bullshit with everybody like family, like no family. When you don't want to be with your family or your wife or husband or both.
or whoever.
Since you said that you have family, or the truth is, I know sometimes there are a couple of people that you call, they're not really your blood means they're nephews, but they're adopted. And the same thing with me. I have a dear friend that lives in Houston, Tammy. She is my sister. And ever since the word, other than blood, her daughter is my niece, and ever since the word but blood. To me, they are family.
Right.
Just like people in this room. We may not share blood, but we share something stronger than that.
And I think you
we
can.
share experiences, and we are family.
Shut that.
I think you can develop families in a lot of different situations. My best friend David, the reason that I do a lot of the work, well, I was doing it before, but one of my motivators for always doing something regarding HIV, he's my motivator. He was my brother. When I went into the doctor for depression, I said, you know, I'm very depressed. I don't know what's going on, la la. And he said, well, what's happened lately? I said, my brother died. He didn't have to know he wasn't my biological brother. That was none of his damn business. In my eyes, my brother had died. And that's it. Help me get over my brother. Help me to deal with that. And so I think, you know, and so out of that relationship with him, I developed a family. I go to church, granted it's on Zoom, but I still go to church. I have that family. You know, I come here, I have this family, and then I have my blood family. You know, I'm pretty fortunate that I can make those connections. But just because I'm in your family doesn't mean that I can be there every second either. I try really hard to be there for anybody that needs me or anything. But you know, sometimes I want to be catered to. You know, I hear a lot of, well, so-and-so needs this or so-and-so needs that. Hey, wait a minute, but who's asking me what I need, you know, or who's asking me what I can do, or who's asking me if I'm okay? You know, you have to make sure that you don't get caught up in that role where you're the caregiver all the time. And I feel like I'm a caregiver more than I'm caregiving to. And so sometimes I don't want that role. I don't want that position. And so if I remove myself a little bit, then I don't have to do all that work, you know, because I'm just tired, you know, I'm tired. I want to be catered to a lot sometimes, you know. When Mark was saying something earlier about he goes to Gilbert, you know, to talk to, you know, and if not, then he comes to his friends or chosen family. Is that correct? You know, I agree with that. Terry, my wife, she's the first one I'm going to go to. You know, she's my best friend. First, she's my best friend. She's my best friend first. And then she's everything else. But if I can't tell her, if I can't talk to her, then I'm wasting a lot of time, you know, because that was my original goal, you know. And fortunately for me, all those that treat me like family treat her like family. You know, they don't say, well, no, just you, not her. You know, we come as a package and people understand that, which is kind of why we're razzing you about Jeremy, because, you know, you come here, he's our family too, that whether you like it or not, you know, that's just the way it is. He come, you know, and you might want to say, you know, well, but he doesn't know y'all as long. I mean, I'm not saying you're saying that, but I'm just saying, but you brought him to us. So we embrace him that way, you know, and that's just the way it is, you know.
Even if I find somebody that wants
That
me?
will embrace him too, or her, or whoever.
No, it's gonna be a him.
Okay, just making sure.
You already have your legs up together.
But you know, it just, I mean, families are made up of all kinds of people and everything. Like I said, I'm fortunate that I can bring my blood family around you guys if I had to, and they'd go, oh my God, what did you get us into? But they love all of you guys.
But that's even better when you have your blood family that gets along with your adopted family.
Yeah.
You've chosen.
Or chosen family adopted. We adopted each other.
Right.
Yeah.
My niece says that if, you know, Terry and I ever got divorced, Terry always has a room at her house. And I said, hey, what about me? She goes, you have your own house. She says, Terry needs a place to stay. I said, no, you can't talk to her any longer. If we break up or something, you cannot talk to her. She says,
But that's funny that you brought that up because that is hard.
It is hard. It is
When
because
you
they
break
get
up
used
with
to them
somebody
too.
and they've invested their time, their heart into that family.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then what
Absolutely.
happens after that?
I don't know. I guess I'll
And
wait
that
and see.
happens
And
with,
hopefully.
even in straight couples. You know, it's hard when your sister brings in a man and they're married and then they get divorced.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, the man was an asshole like my sister's husband was. You know, it would be difficult to say, you know, you're not part of family anymore because they were there for Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, funerals, everything else. And they're part of family, so it would be difficult. I can
It would be
understand
difficult.
that.
Yeah, it's like my brother that I talked to. He got married. I don't talk to him. He's an asshole. I'll say it. He brought his wife in the picture. We became really good friends, and they finally got divorced. And he's telling everybody, "Don't talk to him." I'm like, "Fuck you. I like her more than I like you." But we still talk. And to this day, we still talk. She calls me. She texts me.
Aw.
She checks up on me, and I check up on her. It's just, she became family. And it's difficult when
It is difficult.
like you too. I love him to death. I don't even really know him too well. I love him to death. Down a year or two, if you guys would break up, I would still talk to him.
And that's fine, I understand that. I would never tell anybody not to talk to him, but we're never breaking up because
What's
He'll
his
kill you.
name?
I've invested too many headaches and so.
What is his name again?
His name is Jeremy. Thank you very much. Good God.
Jesus just came down and hugged me.
Are you done? Are you done? Anyway, but no, I would never do that. You know, that's on y'all. But breakups is just weird. Me and my best friend was my gym partner. We stopped talking to each other. The Younger's family stopped talking to me because they believed everything he said.
Of course.
But I'm still best friends with his older sister, his older brother, his two older brothers, and his brother-in-law still hit me up. Hey, what's going on? How you been? Blah, blah, blah.
But that's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they didn't have anything to do with it,
Right.
you know? So why not? But I would rather just, me personally speaking, I just would rather remove myself from everything that's old and move on to the new, completely, 100%. If it didn't work then, well, it's not gonna work now. So just you and your family go on and get your happy ass out of my face and just move on. You know, that's just me.
But so you would stop talking to Terry's family if y'all broke up?
They'd probably stop talking to me first.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, I'm not that.
No,
But I've seen
honestly,
families
because
like
they
that.
see, they see me as the evil person anyway. It's taken 33 years, but they're getting to know who I am, you know, and they're like, I've had to call them out, seriously call them out on some mistakes they've made regarding Terry and, you know, what they thought they knew about Terry. And I had to call them up and say, you know what? I'm going to say something to y'all right now about your aunt that y'all don't even know. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth, because if she's been keeping this from y'all, but if y'all knew all this stuff, you would know why she made those
But
decisions.
do you find that right? Why would you say that?
Why would I?
Because that's between you and Terry.
Why-
You don't have to say this to their family and say, well, I know something that your aunt said, blah, blah, blah.
No,
blah, blah.
it's regarding like her family. They were accusing her of something having to do with her mother, and they were all wrong. And so I fixed that situation because before that they wanted to stop. They all stopped talking to her, and I said, "See, here's your aunt, the good person, and you don't even know what she did that got her to this place, and y'all are blaming her. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about your mama and your mama and your mama, and I'm gonna tell you all what your mamas did that your Aunt Terry fixed, and I'm gonna make sure that you know the truth. Now, after that, if you don't want to talk to me or whatever, don't. I don't give a damn. You're not my family. You're not related to me, but I want you to know that you should be talking to your Aunt Terry because she took on a load that you know nothing about." And wow, after I got through telling them, now since then they've all come around a lot more because I chose to tell them the truth. But if at the end of everything, if like we weren't together and they didn't want to talk to me, well then don't. I've lost plenty of people that I really love and care about. If you don't want to talk to me,
That's a choice
I'll be
you make.
fine.
Exactly.
I'm gonna live.
But don't come back later on, and I hate that. I mean, I'm not going to go off the subject, but even on Facebook, that when people get together, oh, my boyfriend or girlfriend don't like you, so I have to delete you. Well, that's on you, but when you send me a friend request again, I'm not accepting
Yeah,
it.
I don't accept them after
No.
somebody's dropped me because you piss me off. Don't send me another friend request.
I
We're
didn't
done.
delete you. I mean, we're mad at each other. We're mad at each other. Go ahead.
Jeremy, you had a question?
Yes, I'm sorry, Jeremy.
I was just saying, because when a relationship ends, just because one aspect of the relationship didn't work as a romantic, doesn't mean that the love you had should have. Like, I was with the same person from the age of 14 to 18. I still talk to his mom on a regular. I had a half-hour conversation on speakerphone with the bank's mom in front of Santiago. Because the family part shouldn't end, especially if it ends healthy and mature. Because one area of the relationship didn't work doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Absolutely.
Still salvage.
Absolutely, but I'm me personally. I'm just that way. That's just who I am. I don't want to have. I'd rather erase all. Clean the chalkboard and start all over again. That's just who I am.
The adopted family or chosen family, sometimes just comes by accident. Like, I didn't know who Wayne was until we sat at a table for, I forgot who.
Latino HIV Day.
Yeah, downtown
At the Market
America.
Square.
We sat each other.
Hell, y'all didn't even like me when y'all first met me.
They still
At
don't.
Coke.
Because you had a mouth. But me and him started getting to know each other. I offered him a drink because, that motherfucking hot out there. And I went and got me a big gulp, put in some alcohol in there, that had 2 frozen fucking drinks. And we're out there sitting.
Representing one of the
Hijo.
big groups, and we were
and
just
then he's shaking out the
Margaret
guy
is
at the same time.
Margaret is
talking
going
about the
up.
guy, kind of found out that was one of Mary Helen's best friends.
Oh my God.
But that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We just clicked.
Yep.
So sometimes it's like when people you don't,
don't
even know,
expect
you're
it.
just gonna end up being friends with.
A lot of times.
So, but even like people that are in AA, they have that in common. They're always looking for each other because they share that. They share. They don't want to drink and they're around people. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna call somebody else that doesn't drink and they're gonna talk. Now they became a knit family because they have that in common, where they can talk to each other anytime, day or night, evening, whatever the case may be,
Right.
and go from there.
Right.
It
It does happen. I tried to talk myself into coming to Living Positive for many months before I actually stepped foot in here. And I said, am I going to know anyone? And not that it matters, because I can walk in anywhere and be comfortable by myself. But I was like, am I going to talk to anybody? Am I going to know anybody? And look what happened. Look what happened. So, yes,
So
Michelle.
I just want to say, I came, John had asked me to come to a meeting one time. I didn't know that it was, and not that it's bad, I didn't know it was going to be all the time. So I'm like, okay, I'll come to this meeting one time. I was like, well, kind of like hearing the speakers and different things. And then somebody started adding me on the Facebook, and this person's going to die right now when I say this, but there's some of this room, I was like, oh, this person just hates me. I think he
It must be Santiago.
No, it wasn't
It
It
Because we know you.
It was you, Mark. So I'm going to tell you, I thought Mark hated me. I'm like, God, I feel like he gives me these dirty looks. Like, I don't know. And then I gave some comments. So a few weeks ago, I started a comment about the popcorn, and we started laughing. So the guard, so the other day, I'm sitting in my bed working, all of a sudden I get this message, and it says, hey, and it's him. I'm like, hey, sure, like, do I wait to make any more calls? He was like, I just wanted to see how you were doing. I'm like,
Are you texting right, Michelle?
So did you text her before 10?
let me cheat. Oh yeah, because I'm a rule. If you come home before 10 o'clock, you don't need breakfast.
But we're also very
Territorial.
territorial who we let in. We have to. I
I
mean,
didn't
we're
want
a tight-knit family already.
I
So
didn't-
for somebody to come in and like, you better take him out. So then like, we'll give you a side-eye look like, yo, who the fuck is this bitch?
Well, maybe
But-
you were. I didn't even
But
see
it was
you.
like,
Now
hey,
it's
you know,
like,
it's upset to fill you out. You know, you can fit in, you don't, well, you get ostracized.
By him, not by the rest of us. Just him.
Ain't that the truth?
But, you know, again, the topic is, you know, family. We are family. We love each other, we bullshit each other, we pick on each other all the time. And now he takes baths, you know, 3 months ago, that was different. You know, the missing child that just came back has risen
From the dead.
from the dead.
What about me?
He's just risen because he's been gone.
You're just
Where you been?
sober.
I'm just sober.
He has a job. He has a job.
So if you guys want to buy a car, let me know.
There you go.
And what's the name of the store that you work at?
iPac Nissan. Come see me, John Martinez.
And my answer is no comment.
How did? Really? You know what? That's fine. Just no comment.
Did you get the commission?
Next.
He has a job, put it that way.
Good job.
Doing
But
nothing.
no, now that we work in the office, we all have jobs. Volunteer jobs,
But they're
but
jobs.
working
I'm working.
office hours.
I
So,
still need
Mark,
to put my-
Who's
That's
gonna?
what you say?
Did I? Go ahead. What did I have to say? I don't know. You had to kind of.
Both of them are going in way.
Like, Sylvia, you didn't know me when you came here?
Well, I mean, yeah, I did, but I mean, like anybody else, like Leo, but I knew how involved you were in this group. And so I knew you'd be busy milling around or whatever. And it's like, well, what am I going to do? Because he's going to be busy. And I'm not the kind that's going to stick by, Leo, lock arms and go and walk with you everywhere. I'm not going to do that either. But I did know you. So yes, in your defense, yes, I did know you. But I still had to find my own place. And if I didn't, that was okay too, But I mean, once I got addicted to living positive, I really couldn't stop. I felt it here. I felt my
That's
needs
the most
being,
important thing right there when you're picking a chosen family is where do you fit in?
I felt my need, what was most important to me was I felt my needs being met. And you can go to a lot of groups and your needs,
You can't go that way.
I would, please.
You put a strap on, do you?
But my needs for understanding of what I had been through were being met. And I appreciated that support because I think for too long in San Antonio we went without that. Everybody was doing the positive people, positive guys, positive girls, positive guys and girls. Hey, I went through some shit too,
Yeah.
and I really went through some shit from the very beginning. And I just, I've never been able, and when I talk to younger people, they don't understand what I'm talking about. If I talk to older people, some of them didn't want to hear any more about it. So it was like, well, I'm stuck in the middle here. I got the ones that don't want to talk about it, and I got the ones that don't understand it. So where the hell do I fit in? And I fit in here. So that was awesome for me because I got to find my place. And yes, John, I'm sorry.
So I met Santiago, it'll be 2 years this December, at a meeting at Candlelight.
What?
And
Oh, yeah.
He goes to highbrow places?
so,
He's got some class.
we started talking.
That's not class.
And it was time to go, and he
Little.
walked me to my car and talked about this group. So I don't know if it was in December. It was a potluck. There were a lot of people here. Of course, this is before COVID kind of.
2019 was the last one we had.
And,
Was there phenomenal
a long time ago, I'm looking for years
Yeah.
for a group that we all have at least one thing in common here.
Yeah.
The video.
Living with it.
No.
So,
Yes,
That's one STD
have to have sex probably to get in, so.
This is my 21st year. You know, and I feel welcome here. You are my chosen family. Because my paternal family, I don't speak to any of them.
Because you're perturbed?
Well,
They're the people that-
no, they don't like
No, I know
me
what you mean. I was
because
joking.
I'm gay.
Oh my God, you
it's
are?
like, don't tell
You're
me.
gay?
Yeah.
I can live with a positive, I can't live with a
I've
gay.
been with my husband for 21 years.
Hey. Hey.
I'm retired military.
Hey, come here.
And I'm very happy that I found you.
Well, we're glad you found us
Yeah.
too. I have a blast with you guys, I really do, and that's just the way it is. I mean,
You know me, and you know my husband.
oh yeah, I love your husband to death. Oh my God, I love him to death.
I love this place because it gave me a platform to speak and do my poetry.
I love this
Y'all
group.
did.
I-
Y'all gave me- I was asked to be the speaker for World's AIDS Day,
Yeah.
2019, and to me that was just awesome. And then we have the AIDS quilt of 7 days that's going on, and I've been asked to be the first speaker and the last speaker. Again, I get to do what I enjoy, be an advocate for people living with and those affected by HIV/AIDS. I want to be, and I am the voice for those who do not have a voice, and this has given me the platform to do it. I'm very grateful for that.
And this is my chosen family as well. I'm very happy here. I've been here 2 years. I've never been as welcomed as I am, have felt the way that I am here. I started with guys that I didn't think liked me, and I have a wonderful group that I would never ever question.
They told me they
And
didn't like me.
that being said, I keep seeing this, which means
You gotta wrap it
we
up.
have come to an end, and we have got to wrap up the
Are
conversation.
We already turned it off.
Party.
I want to thank y'all for sharing y'all's experiences and everybody who commented. I'm going to switch places with you guys for a quick second
Sure.
to make some announcements. Thank you. That was Sylvia, Wayne, and Jerry, everybody.
Yay.
Bye, guys. Love y'all. Looking forward to the day we can all be together again.
I just want to make a few announcements, and somebody remind me if I forget anything. One, Jerry was just talking about the quilt. We have, I believe, 11 squares left. I hate you. I hate you. We have 11 squares left. They are $15 a piece. If you want to buy one, you can cash app us at $LPSA 210. If you want to call us, you can call us
Repeat that again, but a little slower.
$.
Cash app.
Yeah, the cash app is $, LPSA 210. And again, the squares are $15. And when you want one, make sure you contact Mark, Leo, myself, Wayne, or Santiago to let us know, Jerry, and we'll make sure to get it marked. You can go to our event page, because we do have an event page, tied to our Living Positive page, I believe, for the quilt. I want to point out that next month on the 29th, we are going to start pushing meeting in person. Matter of fact, specifically, we're going to have a kind of a snack type meal, I guess you'd call it. It's going to be snacks mostly, but we're encouraging everybody to come on the 29th of June for an in-person meeting. We will be doing Facebook Live too, but we really want to try to get everybody back in here as quickly as possible. As you know, the mask mandate has been lifted, but we strongly urge that you still wear your mask, at least for now, until you know how well it's going to work. Might also point out that if you're wondering who's really fully vaccinated, just ask them who they voted for. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, wait!
I'm fully vaccinated.
What else was there? Is there anything else I need to mention? Anything else I need to mention? Oh, yes. We are planning a yard sale for this Saturday. They are watching the weather. If it's going to be storming, it may be postponed. So keep an eye on Facebook for that. So as soon as we know, it will be posted. Oh, yeah. Also, if you want to donate, you are welcome to donate through our Cash App. Okay, let me finish the donation thing. You are welcome to donate to our Cash App. It's, again, $ LPSA 210. I'm about to talk about the podcast. And now, what was our podcast called this last week? Intimacy issues. We actually had a very good podcast. Matter of fact, we actually made it on a chart in Saudi Arabia, of all places, for podcasts. So make sure you check out our podcast and our Facebook and our what's that one? YouTube. I forgot what it was called. So
And
again,
our location is, if they want to bring in donations for us to sell.
if they want to bring in donations, we'll do what now?
Location, if you want to bring items for
Oh
us to
yeah,
sell.
okay. Yeah, if you want to bring items to our clothes closet, we are located at 702 Donaldson Avenue. We're in Suite 201. You can call us at 210-218-9161. Our office hours are Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5. All right, everybody. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you.